I got to agree. Listen, you had, and you still are going. You still wrestle, you still perform. I see you in TNA running out with D'Lo Brown. In your illustrious career, what is the? I know you probably have a few moments. What's one of the biggest moments of your career that you look back and be like, that's one of my proudest moments. I was proud I did that.
I'd say like in ECW, it was like the night at like Asbury Park with all like literally a sea, like 4,000 or 5,000 styrofoam heads, and that was just incredible. I'd say my involvement with Tough Enough. There have been lots of different matches that I was really, really proud of, and moments like that in the ring, and promos and things like that. But like the two biggest ones that really stand out are like my involvement with Tough Enough, and and then the moment in ECW. Those really stand out.
Wells?
Yeah, Al, I wanted to get your take on the WWE version of ECW that you were a part of for a little bit there. What was your initial reaction when they brought the ECW brand name back, and then how did you like the way that it played out once it got going?
Well, this is the way I explain it to people is that as far as the ECW being brought back, I thought it was great because it is another vehicle for people to have an opportunity to get TV time, to literally be able to perform and create themselves an audience or a following that could possibly translate into, either Raw or SmackDown. So I thought it was a positive thing for all the talent. As far as, the way that they handled it, I understood what they were, what Vince was trying to do, and that is he's trying to appeal to the mass audience, Vince markets to the entire population of the world, literally, not just the United States, but the entire world. And ECW was really more of a niche market that kind of Paulie marketed that to just a very small group of fans. And, it's like I explained to people, it's like when you go to watch a comic book movie, okay, like Spider-Man or Iron Man or Thor, in order for Hollywood to the only reason that they're going to do anything is if they can make money, if they can sell tickets, okay, which is the same with the wrestling business. It's all about selling tickets. It's not about, how good a wrestler you are. It's not about how good an actor you are. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was a horrible actor, but, he made tons and tons of movies because he always sold tickets. He was an attraction. And that's what matters at the end of the day. So when they make a movie like Spider-Man, there's a niche audience that already knows and has read and loves that Spider-Man mythos and it knows it inside and out. So you've got to kind of make a movie that appeals to them, but yet you've got to make a movie that you can still sell and relate to the general audience that's never picked up a Spider-Man comic book, that doesn't read it on a regular basis, but that can pay their money and go in and be lost for 2.5 hours. Same with the Batman movies and, Superman movies and et cetera. Not every person reads a comic book, let alone read those particular characters and their storylines. So you have to produce that movie so that it will capture everyone's attention and imagination, not just that established audience that reads comic books. And I think that with ECW, when it was brought back, that's what Vince was really trying to do. Unfortunately, he couldn't find the right mix to where he could please, that niche audience and then also appeal to that larger, grander scale of people who, which I refer to as Mr. and Mrs. Walmart, which are the largest amount of the population, around the world. I mean, it's the general person that, watches it just as a casual fan.
Alan?
Yeah, Al, with your, expertise, you've been all over the card, you've been through all these different promotions, you understand how the brands work. What is the take from the wrestlers backstage, their attitude when they're not winning matches, when they feel they're stuck in one place. When we all talk about this guy's getting buried, he's not getting pushed enough, he's not as over as he should be. What goes on through everyone else's mind? What's the attitude backstage?
It's I suffered from it too. It's a big misunderstanding that that the promotion is what makes you, and it's not. The promotion helps you, but the promotion never ultimately makes you. It's ultimately when you step through the ropes. I swear to God, when you step through the ropes, there's nothing anyone can do to help you, and there's nothing anyone can do to hinder you. You literally are in complete control out there, and the problem is that too many wrestlers view themselves as wrestlers, and they view the wrestling match as a wrestling match and not what it really is. They're a product. Their job is to go out there and sell themselves and make themselves an attraction, which is totally 100% their responsibility. And the wrestling match is a commercial. It's a chance and an opportunity for them to sell themselves. So it doesn't really matter if they win or lose, because the one thing that's never changed about professional wrestling, that will never ever change about professional wrestling, is the one thing that really is the only thing that's fake in professional wrestling, and that is that the win and the loss. It's the only thing that's fake, and it's the one thing that doesn't matter to the fans, but matters to the wrestlers. You can go out there and you can get over without going over. I could give tons and tons of examples of that happening over and over and over again over the years. And, the problem is that lies within when guys get, it's such a very insecure business anyways. But when guys get caught up in that and use that as a barometer of where they're at and what they're doing and their security within the company, that ends up being a big handicap for them and curtailing their ability to really be the attraction and perform the way they should. But they wrestlers are their own worst enemies. I mean, me being one of them. I mean, we are the biggest group of sensitive, needy, arrogant, self-serving, egotistical, selfish group of cunts on the planet. I mean, I can't even. Actors who are so pretentious and annoying are nowhere even near as insecure and needy and as we are as wrestlers. And that's because it's an insane oxymoronic business, and which makes no sense and lives within a world unto itself. I mean, But the biggest advice I can give to guys is don't lose sight of the fact that when you step through those ropes, it's 100% your responsibility to get yourself over or get your heat, make yourself an attraction that people want to pay to see. Honestly, Vince McMahon does not care how you make yourself an attraction. All he cares about is at the end of the day, you do. That's it. Now, there are other guys, there are other wrestlers that are going to care whether or not you make yourself an attraction, because the more you make yourself an attraction, the less of a spot they have or less of a chance they have in the spotlight. So, of course, they're going to do whatever they can to change that perception. But at the end of the day, if you're the thing that's selling tickets, it doesn't matter what they think, say, or feel. You're going to get to do what you want to do.
MC?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to go back off of the last question I asked you about, acting and your passion. We're seeing a lot in the, we talk a lot about WWE on our show, and obviously the big story is Rock and Cena, and they're doing a lot to play up the angle that The Rock left. He sort of abandoned them to become Hollywood. Having been a guy who's branched out, you did Tough Enough. You're doing a lot of movies now, but you're still very active in the wrestling world. How much truth is there to that guys in the back may harbor some sort of animosity to guys who leave or guys who don't come back to give their time to the place that made them?
Well, it's certainly there, because just for reference back to my answer about what kind of people wrestlers all are. We're jealous, needy, selfish, insecure people. So, the minute that, The Rock has got this amazing success, we all want to put him down and bury him for any reason we can, which is, of course, he's not coming back to the wrestling world. Well, of course he's not. He's too busy making movies. And I'll tell you right now, anybody that's condemning him for not doing so would be doing exactly the same thing because their schedule would be too busy to where they couldn't. And let's face facts, he is back, and he came back to help business. And for everyone that's on that show, the more he's there and the more he does and the more he gets over, the more attendance rates go up, the more tickets are sold, the more money everybody makes. That's the way it works. And so everybody should be doing what they used to do back in the day with guys like Hogan and everybody else that were the draw. You go up and you say, hey, thanks for having me on your card, and thanks for the house. Guys forget that the real reason we all shake each other's hands is not out of respect. That's become a convoluted misnomer about why and what we do. The reason we all shake each other's hands is not out of respect, because I could hate your guts and I'll still shake your hand and tell you thank you. It's because I can't make any money by myself. There's no one person in the wrestling business that's over enough to wrestle by themselves. You're going to send Hogan out to wrestle? As over as Hogan was, he had a line of heels that had heat. As over as The Rock was, he had heels. As over as Austin was, he had Vince McMahon. That, at the end of the day, is because one person needs the other. That's why we all shake each other's hands. And that's why everybody should say thank you to The Rock for coming back and bumping up the houses, bumping up attendance, and whatever else he's doing to bring in more money. Because the more money they bring in, he brings in, because of the fact that he's there, then ultimately at the end of the day, either they continue to keep the doors open and allow you to continue to wrestle and make a living doing what you like to do, or you're also included in that because you're a factor in why people are paying to see the show, and you make more money. And that's not my opinion. That's how the business works, guys. At the end of the day, everything that's done with a wrestler, whether it's on the independent levels all the way up to Vince McMahon, is an investment of time and money. Even on the independent level of renting the VFW hall, renting a ring, renting chairs, buying the insurance, setting out the posters, and then printing up the tickets, that's all an investment of time and money and effort. Now, how does that get paid back? Only if that promoter is able to get your product, you, the wrestler, to sell tickets and make that money back. That's it. For Vince McMahon, at the end of the day, all those semi-trucks you guys stare at through the fence, all those drivers that drive those semi-trucks, all the insurance and taxes on those things, all the crew that haul the stuff out of there, that giant arena and the rent and the permits that it takes to run it, all the ring, that stage, all the sound equipment, the sound crew, the lighting equipment, the lighting crew, the cameras, the camera crew, the pyro crew, the insurances for all the building, all the TV people in the back, all the TV people at the studio, all the people at the offices. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. How do you think that all gets paid? It only gets paid if you, the professional wrestler, go out there and sell yourself to where people are motivated to get up off their ass, leave their house, and pay to see you perform. That's it. Has nothing to do with how great your match is. Has nothing to do with how many stars you get. It has everything to do with whether or not people are willing to pay to see you. The reason that The Rock is still in the movie business and continues to make movies is because the last report is that worldwide, all of his movies combined have sold over $1 billion worth of tickets.